Welcome to my basement, everybody. I hope that you are doing well and staying safe and wearing your mask and washing your hands. We are not out of the woods yet, even though there is good news trickling out there in the world. The vaccines have started to go out, which is great, but we're not CNN. You didn't tune in to me for that. We are talking about fun things today and, some shocking developments in the world of cool entertainment out there in the world of movies, but also in the world of video games. We've got a great rundown to get to, and I wanted to get into playing some indie games that I've been letting... I haven't really had time to get to them, and I want to, and that's what today is going to be about. We're going to play a few games together on Nintendo Switch, which I've got hooked up. I want to show this again because it's super cool. This is the stealth dock that Genki sent me to review, and this is what I use. It's super cool, tiny and very useful. But we have got a rundown to get to before we get to all of that. I've got some hello, Vix, hello. Tweet it out, Vic. I did. I tweeted it out. I've got hi there. Hi there was the first. So this episode is going to be dedicated to our buddy Hi there. Solitaire01. Hey, always nice to get in a live one after work. That's the idea. I would do this later, but I've talked about this before, that it's... on my own, it's a little tricky to sustain the energy all the way until like 5 or 6 o'clock at night in PST time, which I know would be probably better for a lot of different time zones. But 3 o'clock feels like a nice way to wrap the day. You know what I'm talking about? We go for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. But it seems like a pretty good fit for the timing on all this. Uncle Jay says, Victor Lucas, my man. Good to see you, Uncle Jay. Daniel C. is here. Movie theaters are scared. Yeah, we're going to get into that. Taz says, hey, E-peeps. I forgot to put the Discord thing in the thing. I'm sorry. I'm starting to do that, though. Hey, always nice to get in a live one after work. Love these tunes. Oh, right on. Yeah, that's Nimbus. That's the track that I've been using as my my warm-up music for a while, and I quite like it. It's YouTube. I haven't really had time to kind of suss out all of the other production opportunities that we have out there. We've worked with music services many times over the years, but YouTube's got a bunch of stuff that's all cleared, and there's some pretty good stuff in there. So I try to find some cool music for you guys. Audrey-on Leon and Abby Jameson are here. Cool Cat is here. I don't know what the hell is going on with YouTube and the chat replays. I can't set it. If anybody out there knows what to do, I've got it all set up when I'm in the YouTube studio, and I go to click on chat replays, which sucks for all of you folks out there that watch the archive of this, because obviously I'm having a bit of a conversation with everybody, which is your encouragement to come and join us live, because this is the best chat on the internet. The people that watch EPN are the coolest freaking people in the world. They know more than me. They're very, very good looking, but they're also very kind and super cool, and the encouragement and the support that I get is just awesome. But for some freaking reason, the chat replays just stopped working on our videos, and I want to get them working again, because when people watch these live shows in archive form, it's kind of fun to follow along with what you guys are all talking about. If anybody's got an idea, I tweeted at YouTube, and they said, we're busy. They basically said everybody's live streaming, and hopefully something happens later. They're too busy. They don't know. I'm watching until I start making the chorizo tacos for dinner. Mike Bouchard says, hopefully you've got enough for all of us, Mike. Although I'm vegetarian, so I won't have any. But the other people, we are very good looking. Cool Cat says. Vin Weasel says, oh my God, guys, I find a new YouTuber. His stamina is only about PS5 is best, and Xbox, his streams only. Oh yeah, Vin Weasel. There's a lot of people out there. Console Wars suck. We like to play on everything, right? EP chat, we love it. E-peeps. It doesn't matter what machine you have. If you've got a good system, if you've got a good game, you can play it on anything. All right, here we go. Might have to watch this on my 4K TV so you can turn on the chat on the app. Is that what it is? I don't know what the heck it is. I mean, the chat is playing. It's fine. It's here, but I can't toggle it in chat replay. So there we go. hate to say it, but I can microwave as much popcorn as I want, buy jugs of pop at a fraction of the price. This is Robert Bartel, already getting into what's going to be a big part of our rundown today. So without further ado, why don't we get started with the rundown? And today it is dedicated to the one and only, hi there. All right, you know what's big in the news? HBO and Warner Brothers, the CEO of Warner Brothers, I've forgotten her name, has come out and said that all of the big movies that are coming up in 2021, the new Suicide Squad movie, it starts with Wonder Woman 1984, but Dune. I've put some Batman footage in here because I think it's been moved to 2022, I believe, but arguably once this starts, it's not going to stop. It looks like HBO Max is going to get movies day and date with theatrical editions of these films at the same time. And so you're going to pay your subscription price to HBO Max, and the day that these movies drop in theaters is the day you're going to be able to watch it on the service. Currently, I think HBO Max is pretty region-locked to the United States only, but I believe that there are some pretty big international rollout plans for it. HBO is coming hard at Netflix and at Disney+. Once this starts the machinery going, I would kind of expect that Disney would probably do something similar and start releasing their movies at the same time on the Disney Plus service, but digital subscription-based access to this content and this entertainment is clearly very important to content studios out there. I mean, the list of these movies, Space Jam and Mortal Kombat and The Matrix 4, absolutely enormous. These are some of the biggest entertainment properties with massive, 200 million plus budgets. The marketing is going to be very interesting around all of this as well, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of placating the theaters that are struggling to sell tickets and get people to come to those theaters. But I think when you are a digital service, it's much easier to just sort of blast some, quick banner ads and stuff that click right to the streaming platform, and you just hit that subscribe button and boom, you're watching a lot of this stuff. So conceivably, some of the front-loaded marketing costs are going to drop down. And what's going to be interesting is to watch the subscription numbers start to rise on HBO Max, and we will see, how big it's going to become as a platform. But this is obviously a huge win for a lot of us that are lucky enough to have a pretty decent home theater out there. I've got a 4K OLED screen that is begging for movies like The Batman to be seen on it. I can't wait for Dune. It was on my my really destined for huge irony video that I put together. Is it irony? Well, it's kind of sad. I put a whole video together about the things that I'm most excited for in 2020, and Dune was at the top of my list. And of course, we've known what's happened throughout 2020, but Dune has been pushed back. But I cannot believe that next year, the day it comes out in theaters, I'll be able to just sit back and God, I think the TV business is going to explode now too. Now that I think about it, the fact, the idea that all of these streaming services, because this opens the floodgates, right? I mean, this is like the arms race now. Like Netflix has got to up the ante on what they spend on movies to compete with the biggest DC stuff, and they bought like the Mark Miller universe. And so they're big into the comic space. We saw today also that Netflix just greenlit their what is it? Their Greek animated series that's out there from the people that made the Castlevania one. All I know is Elias Tofexis is a character in the show. I forget the name of the show, but it's been renewed for 2 more seasons. So I think what we're probably going to see is Netflix start to renew a lot of genre entertainment stuff, the stuff that is big in theaters and gets a lot of ticket sales, that it can kind of match up with Avengers movies and Star Wars movies. That's going to happen from Netflix in an even bigger way. They've already spent big money on things like Extraction and things, but it's going to get crazier and bigger. And so the biggest players in media, the biggest studios now are going to have streaming platforms, and they're all going to be fighting each other to get your subscription, your monthly subscription, which is going to be good news for us that have become quite accustomed to staying home and being entertained. But I proposed something kind of antithetical to this. I saw Naomi Kyle had tweeted about this story. Everybody's talking about this all over Twitter, everywhere. We're talking about it right here, but everybody's talking about this because it has huge implications for what we have known for about 100 years in entertainment. Conceivably, this is the death of theaters. Like, how do theaters even keep up with this at all? HBO's first. Disney's going to make some announcements soon. I predict that, if Black Widow doesn't come out on the same day as it hits theaters, it will be a week after. And all of the Marvel stuff, everything that they've got in the pipeline, boom, boom, boom. And honestly, Disney may decide that there's more revenue in cutting up its entertainment into serialized formats like The Mandalorian, which is clearly bringing tons of people in, and decide to make a lot of these movies into limited series. There's nothing saying that Blade as a feature goes away, but we get a Blade 8-episode arc or something like that, to keep people coming back and subscribing. And some of that kind of makes sense. I've certainly been feeling that with The Mandalorian, how absolutely incredible it is to kind of check in on Star Wars on a recurring basis like that, to have that level of production and that kind of threading throughout the mythology that you can kind of tune in for every week is phenomenal. And I can see that being very influential for other media out there. But that won't stop this flood of movies that are in the pipeline. That are looking for homes. I see that Apple will likely step up and try to match on some acquisitional stuff that Netflix has been doing. So we'll probably get some really big movie purchases on the Apple platform. Like maybe James Bond is something that debuts day and date on Apple or something. There's going to be bidding wars around. The HBO has basically said, and Warner Brothers has basically said, the world has changed. We are changing with it. And movie theaters are going to get hammered by all of this stuff. Now, what I suggested to Naomi, though, and what I think people are kind of going back and forth with on the internet right now talking about this, is that maybe this leads the movie theater business to kind of transform itself into something incredibly premium. I miss the experience of going to the theaters with lots of people. I'm a critic in Vancouver, so I've been able to go to movies for more than a decade before they've been released, and then we've put them together in our programming, and it's been an unbelievable privilege and a joy to experience a lot of this stuff. I've got some incredible memories, like seeing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse on an early morning screening and just being blown away by it with the people that I was fortunate enough to bring with me to go and see that. I saw The Avengers with Scott Jones and Billy Campbell, who played the Rocketeer, in an early morning screening with the other Vancouver critics that attended that day. And we were all just like, what the heck this was just sensational. It was so amazing. I got to know Billy because he was shooting The Killing up here in Vancouver, and we interviewed him and we hit it off. And it was so surreal to me to be seeing a movie like that. But then there's tons of other, we'd collect a group of people together and we'd go. We were one of the sponsor partners of Avatar's early screening in Canada. And in Vancouver, when Avatar came out, I had like the whole EP posse. There were 30 of us that sat and took over a row, and we all watched this movie together in 3D and were completely dumbfounded by what we were watching. And that was starting to happen. We were building a real movie club here this year in Vancouver. I saw somebody talking about the VFS Cafe. We were shooting out of the VFS Cafe, the Vancouver Film School Cafe in Vancouver, BC, which was straight downtown. So we would shoot on Wednesdays, and I'd have early screening tickets and passes to give away to the audience, and we would walk over to a movie and watch it together, and building kind of a movie club, which was awesome. And honestly, that's what I really wanted to be building this year. And then the freaking pandemic came and blasted that to smithereens. But what might happen throughout all of this is the movie theaters might step up with crafting a real experience around this. There's going to be a lot of hesitation to go to stores, to go to movies, to congregate anywhere. There's going to be, especially, we're going to be the vaccinated, and that's going to start to roll out. But unless it's a mandatory thing, there's going to be a lot of cases that keep lingering, and the pandemic is going to subside, but the disease won't go away, And so there are going to be reports of new people getting this until there is kind of this idea to, we're all in the same boat and we all got to take care of each other. Kind of like polio and measles and the flu. We're going to have to kind of rally around this idea of being safe, and it's going to take some years. So in the meantime, all of these different establishments, whether they're restaurants or stores or movie theaters or pool halls or arcades, they're going to have to be safe and clean, but they're also going to have to up their game in terms of value for that experience. They're going to have to really hit some. It's going to have to mean something to go back into a retail store, whether you're buying video games or clothes or whatever. It's going to have to feel like a special thing, and it's going to have to be, policed in a way. Like nobody's going to want to crowd into spaces for a while, and no one can blame anybody for that. And movie theaters are definitely going to be a part of that equation, And it's only going to take one massive outbreak at a movie theater to completely devastate the business, and the movie theater chains are definitely aware of that, right? Nobody wants to be that first. Yeah, we filled up the theater with 1,000 people. They all said they were vaccinated, but there was a huge COVID outbreak, and lots of people are sick again. Nobody's going to want that. So what does that mean? It means that we're all going to have to get really sick of being at home all the time, being entertained in our houses, in our basements and stuff. I don't know about you. I'm at that point. It sucks. I feel very disconnected from the face-to-face kind of experiences that I was able to have through the show, but also, just hanging with friends that I got to know all over the place, and I really want it back. But being safe overrides that, and I'm not alone in that idea, and I hope all of you are too. I hope that you're not just sort of throwing caution to the wind and I just hope you're being safe. I saw this is a little off, that's what doing a live show is all about, but we were walking down the street yesterday. We were going to go grab some food, and not eating it out anywhere or anything like that, but we were going to grab some food, and we saw this group of 7 young men or teenagers. They were sharing a pop bottle or a soda bottle. They're going back and forth sharing this soda bottle. So presumably there was booze in it, but they were all drinking out of the same thing. And they were walking down the street just doing that, passing it back and forth in the middle of a pandemic. And then after they had drank it all between this group, one of them just threw it on the ground, on the sidewalk. And I just thought, man, are they trying to bring on the end of the world? It's thinking like that is just, it's just devastating that people are that cavalier, that careless. But we were with our daughter. Otherwise, there would have been some swears, but which probably would have ended in a very nasty thing anyway. So I'm glad that we held back. But it was shocking. And we, obviously we're still seeing people throwing house parties and congregating and really pushing it. And that's why we've got crazy numbers in the world, especially in America right now, that are just shocking. So we've got to get past this threshold. But yeah, I mean, I think we're witnessing the end of an industry. What will happen with movie theaters will be some kind of Phoenix-like reinvention. And I know what will happen is we will also tire of this cocooning, I think THX 1138 was all about that. And there's been lots of dystopian, sci-fi stuff where people were just sort of always in their little space and they never left their bubble. Ready Player One is kind of like that. We don't want that reality. It's cool to have all of these awesome gadgets and entertainments in our space, but it's also really important and really cool to share those experiences. And, it's going to be up to us, our generation, to kind of keep it alive, right? Like we're going to be a lot of the people that remember that as a reality, remember that sort of communal entertainment, because we are pivoting now to the idea that nobody does that anymore, and virtual reality might be an ingredient in that. We might see theater and live music and all kinds of other things just go, and people just put on headsets and escape into their own thing and sort of virtually go to places. And that's freaking scary, especially for those of us that will carry the torch for this transition. And so I guess it's up to us to kind of, keep this conversation going. Don't support the theaters right now. I ask you. I mean, not because I don't want them to be supported, but it's not worth it, especially with the numbers where they are. But when it's safe, yeah, I think we got to try to figure it out with them. They have to make it more than worth our while too, right? And people were talking about, affordable food and no commercials and clean seats and all that stuff, and the comfort of access and all of that you get at home, all of that valid. And so movie theaters have to kind of redefine what that experience is. Honestly, this is also an incredible opportunity for the drive-in theater to come back, in a huge way. I used to go to drive-ins when I was a young kid, and it was awesome. And in that, you could at least go with a bubble and go together and enjoy something communal that way. But yeah, we're edging to the point of not only are we going to be, locked to our internal home theater type stuff, but I don't know if this is true in your family, but I think this is pretty common out there. There are many nights where I've got my silo, my kids got her silo, and my wife has her silo. And we are being entertained by a variety of different things. So, can't really complain about that. But there is, I don't know how you feel about this, but I just don't want us to move forward and everybody's just got their own tether, their own device escapism, and they don't connect with you. I mean, it's Ready Player One, which is exciting in some ways where people are meeting in a virtual kind of space, but I don't want that to supplant meeting in reality. That was the message of the movie, if you guys remember that. I haven't read Ready Player 2 yet, but the message of the movie at the end of the film was really like switch off sometimes and have some real life, and share some experiences. So so big topic. I don't know how you guys feel. Are you, Taz says, I live alone, so I have my own silo. People crave those collective experiences. I worry that WB and other studios are looking to prioritize streaming long past the 2021 slate. Ben, they're businesses, they are, that's a great comment, Ben Gordon, but they're businesses and they have been eating it this year. The fact that Disney has laid off tens of thousands of people and their core businesses, the core experiential businesses have suffered like crazy, not just movies, but think of the investments that are just going down the toilet with the Disneyland operations around the world. It's hard to feel like terribly sad about these multi-billion conglomerates, these companies that have limitless resources. But that only lasts for so long, not to mention the industries that those studios support, not just the film and television actors and writers and directors, but all of the, the costumers and the vendors that supply like food and services like crazy. And also all of the wholesale manufacturers that provide to the theme parks and all of these things. So that's the other side, is the only way back to that normalcy, and that kind of idea of having these experiential things. I mean, Christ, the theme park for Super Mario World is launching in Japan in February. I want to go to that. I don't know about you guys, but I want to go to that, but I don't want to get sick going to it, And so we got to get healthy. We got to feel safe. But we also want to have these experiential things. It's, I don't want to live in this reality. I don't want my experience for Super Mario World to be on my Oculus Quest 2, because someone's going to go there and shoot with a 3D camera and cover the whole thing. I don't want to be wearing this freaking thing on my head, and that's how I go and visit Super Mario World, or Disneyland or whatever. It's very interesting. We're at the precipice of something, not just the way back from this. We're at the precipice of real change, cultural change in a lot of different ways. And I think we may be one of the most fortunate groups out there because we already consume this digital entertainment in vast quantities that fills our time and inspires us and gives us great joy in the video games that we play. And we're savvy enough to have accounts to access a lot of this digital stuff and be very pleased with all that. But underlying that is this whole, massive amount of entertainment that is based on people congregating that is like really hurting. I mean, I'm sure you guys are all reading the same articles about musicians and theater actors and restaurants. I mean, there's so many categories here, but this is a huge statement from WB. And Ty Fish is going out, getting some exercise and raking some leaves. I mean, how do you guys feel about this? Are you happy that this is happening? I'm happy to see these movies, and honestly, it almost would have made sense that they started a little bit of this stuff earlier to kind of be ready with this, but obviously everybody's been questioning when and if it will be safe to go back, and nobody wanted to step on the toes of all these theater conglomerates, but yeah, it's crazy. Goodfella Joe 7 says, open small businesses and only allow limited amounts in, support small businesses. There's a lot of territories in the world that are doing that, Goodfella Joe, but then cases start to rise. It's such a slippery, crazy slope. Like, we're not out of it, Like, I feel like the thing that we should have done is shut down more at the beginning of this and make it even harder on all of us. And we would, what New Zealand did, they basically clamped down, shut it all down, wouldn't let anybody in, and now they're okay. It's crazy. Nick Seabright says, this is why Vic is the best in the biz. His life is video games and movies. He knows it's important to unplug. Well, Nick, that's super kind, man. And thank you for that comment. Honestly, I wasn't a kid when I started this. I had already had some life away from this, and I didn't know that this was what my dream was. I was still trying to figure out what my dream in my career and my life was going to be. And it was that time, that 10 years, really. I graduated from high school, and it took about 10 years before I kind of figured out what the hell to do with my life. That was not always fulfilling, and often frustrating and maddening because I wasn't doing what I wanted to do with my life, but it was so important for me to experience other things. It influenced my decisions on how we built Electric Playground and how we ran the company and, many. So yes, and it also gave me perspective that this stuff is very expensive and it's very hard to make, and you can't only consume one aspect of it. It will drive you crazy. You need to try different things, and you need to get outside, yes, and you need to have a life. And it was all part of, I don't know, I guess prepping me for longevity. I didn't know that. Yes, never did I know that, but now I've been around, so now I know it. Now I can kind of reflect a little bit on it. Thank you, Victor, for being an absolute voice of truth and reason and all this madness. You are one of the greats of our time. Ty Fish, man, this is so sweet. You guys are amazing. You don't have to completely. It's really nice to read these very flattering things, and I appreciate it like crazy. But I'm just happy you're here, and I'm happy for your insight. And I got a question here from Marco A. Do you think any of the streaming services will look at YouTube and have their own content that is current on video games, comics, etc.? EPN would look good on Netflix. Just saying. Listen, I'm having those discussions about where we can go with what we do. I have been for the last 5 years, by the way. And I'll be frank with you. I'll be very honest with you about what's been happening. Like, I have had conversations with broadcast folks and potential partners, and I've gotten to the point of providing a budget and a start date on when we would go into production with the team that we've had. And then the person I was talking with gets fired. And that's happened more than once. And that is a statement on where a lot of traditional media is right now. They don't quite know how to weather this. I can say to all of you, and I'm reminded of this every time I stream, that there is great value in not wasting people's time, finding excellent people that can be avatars and communicators around content like what EP has been producing, and packaging material that people can get a lot out of. And we learned that over many, many years and many, many stumbles. And it's been shocking to me, and I can say this up front, that we haven't found a partner yet that sees what we accomplished and can see that we can quickly and effectively grow again to build something of real value. And I have those discussions, and there's interest, there is, but the act of going from okay, this all looks good, to a contract and we're back in production, obviously has been a little more difficult than it used to be even 5 years ago. And the main ingredient in that is everybody points at YouTube and Twitch and goes, "Oh my God, look at all the stuff that's out there." But my argument back is, yeah, well, there ain't nothing like Electric Playground on there. There's nothing like what we did. And there's nothing like what we did as a show. Quite frankly, as far as I know, you guys can let me know, but there's nothing like what we did, especially when we got to EP Daily and Reviews on the Run Daily, like that in broadcast or media at the consistency and the amount that we were delivering anywhere. And so to me, that is an amazing opportunity. And so I'm just plugging away, making content on a regular basis, because that's what I've always done. And I continue to have interesting conversations. So, people ask me about that kind of stuff all the time, and I'm not quite ready to talk about, next things or anything like that. But that I will share with you guys. And Hi There says, stay on YouTube. I'll tell you this, there is no way I'm making any kind of a transition to any new thing and saying, well, we don't need YouTube or Twitch or anything. No, I would never do that. And I don't think I should talk anymore about that stuff, because I don't want to take it out of context or whatever. But yeah, rest assured, look, if I'm not able to pull a budget together and build up the content the way that I would like to do it again, rest assured that content delivery around Electric Playground is going to continue, and I will do my best. And as we grow, because we have been growing, we'll just keep adding little widgets and little pieces. All of these lessons and all of these learnings are being applied. Are we producing the exact show every day that I would like to right now? No way. But it's this kind of content is an ingredient in the type of content I would like to make every day. And I'd like to do more. So I'm having those convos, but I never chose the path of being that gatekeeper, because I chose the path of being the conduit to this information, and it was deliberate. I didn't want to be a hands-off executive producer. I didn't want to be a programming executive. I didn't want to be a producer for hire that would work on anything. I love what EP has done, and certainly I've talked a lot and thought a lot about reflecting on other things that we could make, and I'm open to making other things. But the core of what we built with Electric Playground in the mid-'90s is, I think, even more valuable today. I think that there's a lot of defeatist conversation and negativity and reductive commentary that is not serving viewers well, or this medium that I adore well. And so I still definitely see vibrancy in our space and our value and our virtues. So I continue to have those combos. That was not meant to be part of the rundown, but that now it is in the rundown. EPN Patreon, ITN. Thank you for that question, ITN Noetic. I've certainly thought about it. I feel like there's a EP has been a great partner to lots of good companies, Comcast and G4 and Discovery and Rogers and Turner and lots of great partners. We've solved something for them, and I think that's a good position for us. We're a great partner for a company that sees that there is a real demand for this kind of content, and because of that, I feel. And I know that there is on a community level too. I know that you guys would like. I mean, I hear it in your comments and your questions and your tweets at me. I know that there is a desire to support something like this. But the minute that I do something like that, and I'm not opposed to it, but it's just not felt like the time, and partially because I keep having these convos of like, we got something here. There's something going to happen. But I feel like the minute I do that, then it really muddies the what we do with any other kind of partner, because what I would go to Patreon for is, or some kind of community. I guess you guys want to talk about this, so I'm talking about it. But what I would go to that kind of community, financing for, it would be to digitize all of our content and archive it in a really effective way. And so that would be one ingredient. And then to kind of build up what EP is, I wouldn't be going to like build something totally brand new because what we've done isn't being done. I would want to do what we've done. And so I feel like if I did raise the money to be able to do it and we delivered it on YouTube and other digital platforms out there, which wouldn't be a bad thing at all, that suddenly would be a weird thing if I was doing another deal with some other entity, So that's been my decision making on it. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and maybe we should do some kind of a Patreon thing. But the other side of it too, and I have to be honest, I'm pretty bad at even promoting what we do now, and it's not because I don't believe in it and I'm not proud of it. It's just it's uncomfortable for me to bang a drum and say support this, support that. So, I really am grateful for the memberships that we have. A lot of people are EPN members, and thank you. They're all the ones with the little icons beside their names. I get tweets from people or Facebook messages from people that picked up EPN hoodies or whatever. I'm incredibly grateful for all of that stuff, and it helps. It helps in a real way for paying the bills on the production that we have, but it also it helps with the story around what I'm still continuing to try to grow. But I'm not great at it's just a weird thing. I came from TV. I came from having a platform and just making something and getting paid to make it with this amazing team of people that we collected, and then just being very happy that you were all watching, and so it's been hard for me to shake that off. It's been hard for me to go, well, I'll just reinvent this as a crowd-funded thing, And the other side is that I feel like once I do that, then I'm managing the crowdfunding. I'm not thinking about what I'm building. I'm not thinking about the what's going to go on the show today. What am I going to say today? What am I going to play today? And I don't know. Welcome inside my brain, everybody. Okay, listen. Robert Bartell, thanks for that shout out. Yes, please like the video if you like my like what I'm rambling on about, which right now is a lot of me, and Electric Playground, which I definitely respect and appreciate the curiosity. I know a lot of you are invested with many years of support into our brands and into my career personally, and I feel that love. I know, and I'm freaking grateful. I really am. I'm just so. I haven't really talked about this, but I feel like I've really needed this year. It's been a lot of time because I've had to learn a lot of things, like streaming on my own. But this focus of getting up every day and thinking about what I'm going to build and what I'm going to do, and what I'm going to send out there, and then to have your feedback and your support has just been, it's been really necessary. It's been good for me. and I'm really grateful. I think you know that. Okay, let's move on. We have another story to get to, and this is also very, very big in the world of entertainment. We've had a couple of huge departures from BioWare, our buddies in Edmonton, who I adore. Casey Hudson I met when he was working on MDK2, and we've had many conversations over the years. I've already reached out to him. I hope that I can have him on Vic's Basement in the coming days or months or weeks. I don't know if he's going to want to talk about it, but he was running the studio. He was GM. He had come back to the studio after leaving it for a while. I think he was working at Microsoft, and he's an extraordinary guy, an incredibly passionate, believer. He was hired by Ray and Greg, who started the company, and Mark Dara, the executive producer on the new Dragon Age, has also left the company. And of course, this is the sort of behind-the-scenes footage that BioWare put together earlier this year for what they're working on with Dragon Age in this insane year, with everybody kind of remotely working, everybody doing stuff from home. I love this video. I love that they shot outside. I love that they went into the woods, and they're in people's homes and they're showing the Zoom calls and all that stuff. Frankly, it's shocking, and it's really sad that some of these senior people are leaving BioWare. It's understandable, like these guys. Casey's done I don't know a couple of decades at least with BioWare. I think Mark has been there for 20 plus years as well. I think he's been all the way along on the Dragon Age franchise. And BioWare has seen people leave, like Mike Laidlaw and other folks, other really, Greg and Ray don't work there anymore. All of that has been shocking. There has been this, they've been consumed by Electronic Arts, and Electronic Arts has a reputation that persists. It's a huge public bureaucratic business, and there's been a lot of weird decisions from EA over the years, and a lot of incredible brands that the company is sitting on. And it breaks my heart that fantastic people, passionate, talented, intelligent, caring people have to make a call to leave studios and or projects of this magnitude and this importance in our business. But unfortunately, it happens. I think that EA is still delivering incredible software, but I also think that EA has some owning up on to do still with how people are integrated into its business. They're not. I don't subscribe to the philosophy that they're an evil company or that they take over companies and just kind of break them apart or strip them down or whatever. I think that they are an incredible business, and they've provided opportunities to lots and lots of really inventive and creative folks to deliver awesome entertainment. And you just have to look at Star Wars Squadrons as a recent example. And the history of EA is incredible, and we forget that. There's too many YouTubers out there making lots of money, making videos, shitting all over them, and it's ridiculous. It's preposterous. But I do think that EA proper can do more to celebrate the humans that they employ and to let us know more and more who they are, not just what they're building, and to give us some real sense of connection to their creative ambitions and what they're trying to do with the unbelievable tools that a company as vast as EA delivers. And I think that about EA a lot. I also think that EA has these amazing, immeasurably important brands out there that they rest on for a long time, and it boggles the mind, like you wouldn't see, like we're looking at Warner Brothers make this huge pivot in our previous story on the rundown, this huge pivot to say, okay, we're going to go into streaming and we're going to really anger our business partners in the movie business, unless they're cutting them in. I don't know all of the intricacies of the deal that's taking place with HBO Max. But you wouldn't see a company like Warner Brothers just forget about its archive and forget about its legacy and its history and all of the careers that that business has started. And I think that to a degree, there's an element of that storytelling that exists within EA. But EA should, and other companies, Activision, you guys can name some more in the list right there, but there's other companies out there, 2K, that are massive, influential. They move tons and tons of units of software, but they can also do more to kind of celebrate where they've come from and who got them there. And I don't know, to find their way forward so that people don't just take the opportunity at EA to build stuff because they get all of the creature comforts and the big budgets and all that stuff, but are fired up to want to go there because it's an awesome place to make games that really propels their creative individuals in incredible new ways and exciting new ways, and also I think it's important for all of us that love this industry to kind of get to recognize the value of content creators like Casey Hudson and Mark Dara and the many, many other names. We should be reading the credits. We should get to know some of these creations that these people are participant in. You should absolutely dig into archive footage of Electric Playground and watch some of those interviews and kind of track some history of where people have moved. MobyGames.com, if you guys have never checked that out, is an incredible resource for digging into the credits and then finding names and identifying where these people go. People make video games. It's not a factory. It's not a giant conglomerate that just pulls a lever and then all of a sudden, a new thing is there for us to buy. And I rally against this industry a lot about, and partially it's self-serving because what we do with EP is we celebrate the humans as much as the things that they make, and I think that we shouldn't forget that. But I believe that we have. I think that this is an industry that is just all about making those big sales and selling this and selling that and hyping up for whatever is next and forgetting all of the stuff that is in the past. But I think the stories about how these things came into being in the first place is incredibly important, and I think it's incumbent on these studios to do everything that they can to keep great people that really believe in the medium happy and engaged and there. And I don't know all of the deals. I don't know what happened with Casey or with Mark. And hopefully a lot of that comes to light. I do know, and I've talked to lots of former employees of Electronic Arts that don't, badmouth the company. The company is run smartly. It makes people a lot of money, not just the executives, but the developers can also be very well gainfully employed there. And there's a consistency and stability there that people you can create a life off of, and that's not to be discounted. But this is a creative medium, an art form, and my point of Warner Brothers re-engineering ways for us to be engaged in their back catalog is. It applies to what EA is, and of course they've got EA Play and stuff like that out there. But I feel like maybe the course of action is not just to resell us Fight Night or to let people play Fight Night Champion, but to also say the people that made Fight Night Champion are still incredible creators at EA, and this is what they're working on now. I think those stories. And it's not just EA. Those stories in the business are really important. They're inspiring. They're inspiring to future game makers, which is going to be the lifeblood of this business as it continues to mature. But they're inspiring to us as people that enjoy this pastime, that are the evangelists of it, the ones that are out there talking to our friends and families and say, have you played this on the PlayStation 5 or have you downloaded this to the Switch or Xbox? We're the heat seekers, the ones that our family and friends come to for wisdom and advice and opinion about whether they should buy these things or not. And I think the more that we endeavor to celebrate the act of creating this stuff, the better it is for everybody. And from the outside, When you see people like Casey and Mark saying that they've had enough and they're going to move on, and there could be a million reasons for it, but I think one of the ways that you keep people engaged with, a studio or a creative way of thinking is to pause and to, I don't know, find some pure ways to celebrate them, And certainly Hollywood is better at it. It's a more mature business. It's all about hyping itself up and celebrating itself with, award shows. And it's not just the Oscars, right? It's a season of award shows. Whereas video games are what Jeff is doing with the Game Awards is it's a great step forward, but they're the only game in town in a lot of ways, and we've got a long way to go. And it's not just about that. It's not. The other thing is the pretense that comes along with that as well. We don't really want that infection in video games because it's really collaborative, and it's not just about one individual that oversees all of this stuff. It's about the spirit of the team and the creativity of the team and what people can accomplish together. But I think you guys get what I'm saying. Is that it's a deflating bit of news. It certainly calls into question, what's going on at BioWare, and should we be concerned about a new Dragon Age, and should we be concerned about the vitality of that company? It's gone through some real downs with Anthem and Mass Effect, Andromeda, but again, the legacy of BioWare is absolutely phenomenal, and we should continue to trust that company can make amazing stuff. Okay, we got Paul Ostazuk. Hey, Vic, big fan of you since the early 90s with Tommy. Love that you are keeping this up. Oh, love that I'm keeping this up. WB just bought back a new season of Animaniacs. That's IT Noetic. Let's see. What's going on? Blizzard needs to leave Activision, though. Go private. This stream, 11 out of 10. Hip Hop Dan, oh man, you're amazing. Yeah, listen, huge, huge things to talk about. I didn't even prep another story in the rundown today because these are just too big. But I don't know. What do you guys think? How are your thoughts about Casey and Mark leaving BioWare? Does that freak you out about what's happening with the new Dragon Age? Abby Jameson says, I think I can speak for a lot of us when I say that we're very grateful that you're continuing to do what you do despite the difficulties this year. Definitely helps to escape what's going on. Oh, that's awesome. Like, yeah, honestly, like, it's not just this, this little community that we've got here, but we're all in this together, right? Like this whole freaking world. It's from small little village to massive, huge megapolis. We're all in this together. Vic, you the best. Philly, Montreal. That's awesome. Blair Farrell, I use Moby Games all the time to try to find people to reach out and interview for the books I've written over the past 2 years. Yeah, Moby Games has been, they're doing good work over there. I'm really happy that they exist. Peter Kokazar says, question, do you expect video game creators to become as popular as movie directors in a decade? The business is really pushing against that. And there's good reasons to do that, right? Like it isn't one creative force that can take credit on concepts for games. Games are way more collaborative than like a director is ultimately, they're responsible for the look and feel and the vision of the film, and they're unless they've done a deal with the studio where the studio gets the final cut and they can make all the changes, and that happens all the time. But the director really, as they inhabit that role, become incredibly important as the person to underscore whether this thing is a success or a failure. That does not exist in games to the same degree. There's pedigree to be associated with games, but games really stretch out the responsibilities across a lot of different disciplines and contributions on purpose. I think partially so that it doesn't become an antagonistic, pretentious, hierarchical thing, which exists on some sets. There's a lot of scummy entertainment people that have really taken this all for granted, and we hear that. I mean, it's gossipy stuff, but a lot of people have abused the whole system. There is also, though, a tremendous amount of collaboration in the film and television worlds, and amazing groups of people do collect and entertain us in some pretty phenomenal linear ways that way. But the thing that games have to do every single time is they have to reinvent themselves, but they also have to. And I was talking to some students today for a thing I just hosted for Vancouver Film School, but they have to create tools on how to make it easier for that team to make the thing they want to make every single time. And movies don't do that, and TV doesn't do that. They don't have to kind of like invent the camera or the way that the camera is going to work every single time they make a movie or a TV show. There is like a clockwork, disciplinary kind of structure to the way that one set works to the next set. And games don't work like that because we want invention and a sense of new in every kick at it. There is this constant, sort of pushing everything off the table and rebuilding it again over and over and over again. And so I think that in that there is this dependency on all of these disciplines to be as good as they possibly can be, and bad programming can equal a bad game. And so a programmer or a group of programmers is as important to the equation of a game coming together as a designer or an actor, or it's just so incredibly interconnected on each, and certainly bad cinematography can ruin a film for sure. But I think at the core, a filmmaker is a director is kind of the painter. It's their painting. They're putting it all together. And in games, it's different, I think, because the people's talent is the paintbrush in a way. The human is the tool, and their ability is the tool, as opposed to I don't know. I've tried to rethink how I feel about all this a million times, but I think in film and television, it's the skill of the craftsperson that uses that tool that really inflects the aesthetic value of what you're watching. Whereas in video games, it's actually the humans, that human beings' talent to create something out of nothing that is in that toolkit. So it's not quite one-to-one. But I do feel that game makers deserve that attention. And maybe it's a collection. Maybe, that's what my life's work has been at this point, with EP, is to go and talk to these folks and give them that attention and have these discussions. Because I think that creativity in games may be the purest form and the wackiest and craziest form of creativity that exists out there, because it's always impossible. But I think that there can be harm done if you just isolate one person and say, well, that's their thing, because then everybody else in the team is like, well, why are they getting all the attention? So I do believe that more groups of people should be talked to, and we should get to know them. And it shouldn't just be from enthusiast, news magazine type programming like us. They should be on CNN. They should be on The Tonight Show. They should be in newspapers. And I'm talking about all kinds of traditional media, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we should know these people. Yes. And part of it, I think, really originates from these massive companies themselves. They really should endeavor to let us know these individuals as much as what they're building. And that's why I love that Dragon Age behind the scenes video, by the way, because they did a very good job at highlighting a bunch of key creative people and showing how creative they have to be in order to conceive something that's years away. So, long discussion about similar kinds of things, but a huge, huge day in entertainment media today. Jordy Games, thank you so much. Thank you for a British Pounds super chat. That is awesome, and I love the thumbs up. That's super cute. Mando Blasto, of course, the worst thing could be that they were pushed out somehow, but it is sometimes that someone decides that for them, it's time to move on or an opportunity comes up. I mean, that certainly happens all the time. JW12, it's not always bad when people leave. Because of people leaving, we get games like Titanfall with the new studio. You know what? It's often not bad when people leave. It's often very good, and whatever Casey's got cooking, or, maybe Casey and Mark are going to end up working on something brand new. I've heard a little company called Microsoft has been on a buying spree recently. There's a lot of good that comes out of change that exists everywhere, not just in the games industry. It's a good time for the EP Discord shout out. That is from Taz. You know what? I will pop open Discord right now. I think I have it still in my timeline here. 1 second. Where did I put it? Oh, I thought I had it. Oh, where is it? Do I have it? Got, here we go. Boy, this is thrilling. Give me 1 second. I got to plan better for this Discord shout out. Okay, I'm opening this up. Hopefully I don't have to log in again. If I have to log in again, this might not be happening. 1 second. And hopefully I do this right. And Metal, while I do that, Metal Wolf Gaming says, greetings from the UK. Finished The Last of Us Part 2 this week. Loved it. 10 out of 10. That game is haunting, isn't it? And that's one of the videos that I'm proudest of, is the video I put together, kind of spoiling the whole thing, talking about how much that game meant to me. Phenomenal game. Okay, so we are going to invite people, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to invite people. Boom. And we're popping it into the chat. Please welcome to the EPN Discord, everybody. Come and hang out. And, that's kind of where the chat goes after the streams. That's where the chats go to continue chatting. And we have incredible people that tune in for the live shows, and these folks blow my mind. And I try to get in there every once in a while, but of course I'm always cranking on trying to put stuff together. The Batwing has landed. There you go. Boom, boom. I think you just click on that link, and if you're a Discord person already, you're in. I'm sad Toyoma left Sony Japan. No more Gravity Rush. Yeah, Sony Japan has had a whole bunch of changes over the years too. That was a lot to reflect on today, you guys. Thank you for listening, and for the shout outs, and for the and for the love. It's very kind. Okay. I wanted to also do some playing today. We haven't done a live stream with the games in a little bit, and I've been trying to kind of get the holiday gift guides collected and together. I've got at least one more to do. I might do two. I might do like the indie games that you should maybe think about for the holidays. I'm thinking about that. But the other one that I'm putting together will be a toy gift guide and collectibles kind of gift guide. So stay tuned for those. But right now we're going to do a little bit of streaming right after This Day in Everything Cool. Welcome to This Day and Everything Cool for December 3rd. On this day in 1996, gamers got to explore a whole new side of the Star Wars galaxy because LucasArts released Shadows of the Empire on the Nintendo 64. It technically wasn't just a video game. Shadows of the Empire was an entire multimedia project encompassing the game, a novel, comic book series, and toy line, with Lucasfilm using it as a way to reinvigorate the Star Wars franchise ahead of the upcoming prequel films. The story in Shadows of the Empire is set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, with Luke, Leia, and a new character named Dash Rendar struggling to track down Boba Fett and the frozen Han Solo, all while battling the notorious crime lord Shizor. The game was developed internally at LucasArts using the same engine that ran another Star Wars game, Dark Forces, and along with third-person shooting and exploration, there were also flight combat levels. Other Lucasfilm subsidiaries like Industrial Light and Magic helped out with the development using new performance capture technology and 3D modeling they had created for the big screen. The graphics received critical acclaim, with many praising Shadows of the Empire as one of the best-looking console games ever made, although the story and level design weren't as well received. The best part about the game was its opening level, where players pilot an airspeeder on the ice world Hoth. This directly influenced the next big N64 Star Wars game, Rogue Squadron. Shadows of the Empire. How crazy is that? Let's stick with the Nintendo theme. I'm looking at Switch games today. This is the Switch Pro controller. We are going to jump in and play a little bit of Horus, which I can't skip the opening cut sequence. That was one of the things that I didn't dig about jumping in. I checked it out the other day. The game is cool, though. You play as a robot, so step one, I'm into it. He's a British robot with a dry sense of humor, and I think there's some voice work in this thing as well. So let's just jump in. We're going to continue. I haven't played much, but I got it past the opening cut sequence, which took a long time. And it's all very sprite-based. I'll turn on the audio right there. It's all sprite-based and kind of blown up, and they do some tight shots and stuff, which is kind of funny. But there's some really cool character work in this game. Like she's got a little My Little Pony. And this is all taking place around Christmas time, so it's a little bit, apropos.
Had a big meal, and I was introduced to everyone else. The professor was the old man's brother. He was very quiet, and always seemed to just kind of stare at me. He had lived with the old man for 5 years. The house was so huge they barely saw each other. He preferred instead to stay in his room, leaving everything up to his butler, Mr. Deck, as he insisted everyone call him, although the professor always called him Anton. For a while, he called me a yellow bastard, but the old man made him stop, as he thought it sounded racist. Mr. Silton was the old man's driver. Before he worked here, he'd gotten in with some bad people and was the driver in a post office robbery, although it all went wrong for some reason. Mr. Silton showed me a video of his band. I'm sure some people must like it, but I just found it terrifying. Then there was Alice. She was the cook. She was a nice old lady.
You're like, what the hell am I watching? What is happening?
TV chef. Then, years later, she had a small part in Coronation Street.
It's very
Mr.
British.
Silton said,
I love it.
Before she worked for the old man, Alice was quite a hoarder. She kept old newspapers and bicycles, and something about a poo in a shoebox. The next morning, the old man gathered everyone together to show them what I was capable of.
You can get Shadows of the Empire at Good Old Games, Phil J. Furr says. And Rec 101 says, hey, what's up, Vic? How you doing?
Could he help me with my newspaper collecting? Asked Alice. I'm not sure that's a good idea, said the old lady.
The sense of humor was a big part of this this game, one that was pitched to me, Ben Gordon.
Shove a stick up his ass and he can do Deck's job. Now, said the old man, we have company, pointing to some important-looking people. 2 large men, both called Gary, set up what the old man referred to as lasers. He said again, I should try to get from one end of the room to the other, but I shouldn't be worried, as I had a special chip which meant no matter how damaged I was, I couldn't die. He said it was like infinite lives in a video game.
I have not played Fogs.
I didn't
Wiki Adam.
He said he would explain another time.
We're going to play some Horus. Okay, now there's so this is the game. I'm dead, but not dead. Oh, okay. It's a little slippery. All right. Ah, I did it again. Ouch. Whoa! Go! I actually have to pay attention here. Okay. All right.
Everybody clapped.
Yeah, everybody
except
claps.
The important-looking men. Not exactly a cold, calculated killer, is it? Said the man in black. The man in grey laughed. What kind of artificial intelligence was that? He asked. Move right, unless there's something in the way. Okay, said the old man. He turned to me and whispered, they're going to make it quite a bit tougher, but I'm sure you'll be fine.
All right. Just trying to read all the chats. I'm sorry I can't get to every message. There's always a lot of really cool insight, and I got to figure out how to get that chat replay going again. I'll keep digging into that. Okay, here we go. Oh, I was looking at the stream, which is delayed. Okay. Okay. Oh, that doesn't make sense. That's like a lightsaber. Light doesn't just end like that. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Woo! Ah. Kind of adorable, right? Oh, scared the crap out of me. Okay, get up there. And we're like in the training session here. Go! Nope! Run! Woohoo!
The Garys then rearranged the room one last time. The old man smiled. Now, there's no need to
Rock 101, working on that.
said. I'm still happy with everything.
He's asking about the Cyberpunk.
Today. So this time, I was
Is Axiom Verge out this year? I thought they were pushing that together. Pushing that out next year. I can't wait for Axiom Verge 2. The first one, I dug it when I first played it, and then I played it last year on the Switch and was completely shocked at how much I adored it. And it made me realize that made me realize that sometimes games just come together later, you know? Like sometimes when you review something, you're just not ready for it, but then you get ready for it later. I mean, that happens. That happened with me with SSX3, which was something that I lived in shame with because I thought it was just more of the same. And then I reviewed it, frack. And then I couldn't stop playing it. It was just so perfect. It was absolutely stunning, that game. I kind of felt that way about Spider-Man on the 2018 Spider-Man from, goddamn. It's hard to think and do, get anywhere in some games. But with the 2018 Spider-Man, I thought, it felt very similar to other Spider-Man games that I had played, but then I couldn't stop playing it, and I beat it again and again. That's why it became our game of the year in 2018. And I have to say, I'm having kind of the same kind of reaction to Miles Morales. I don't know if you guys have been playing Miles, but holy mackerel, is it fun. Okay, what's happening here? I might be the only streamer on YouTube that said holy mackerel today. I might be. I don't know if there's a way of checking that. Okay. Yay!
Actually seemed quite happy when I made it through. We might have a winner after all.
Is that right, Blade Blur? I think I did, right?
It's no Killbot 3000, but you can almost see the fire in its eyes.
Are you doing a review to Immortals
later,
Phoenix Rising, thinking of picking it up for the Switch? I did do a review on Monday. Gave it an 8.5. It is a great game. And I played more Watch Dogs, and I might try to give you some more thoughts on Watch Dogs Legion tomorrow. There's been a lot of games. Holy mackerel. Thank you, Rock 101. It's Phil J. First says it's my Canadian politeness coming out.
As if music wasn't amazing enough,
yes.
The old lady then bought me a television
sure.
set.
And
you know,
years of being in front of a camera for TV and trying to hold back the swears. But then I thought,
sci-fi.
when we had our daughter,
I would happily watch with them.
I had to watch what I
Then
said in
one
front of
day,
her.
The old man set up a
I don't think
small
I'd ever said "oh
he
gosh" or
plugged
"oh
some
my
cables into
gosh"
the television
in
and said, "This is what
my
I
whole
meant
life until my
when I
kid
said
came
video
along, and all of a sudden I was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Who is this guy?" Next year, when you have caught up on content, will you be playing PS5 Series X copies of
I was
4,
unstoppable. I had enjoyed music,
PlayStation
film,
4?
and television.
I did take a look
But
at Borderlands
to me,
3.
Video games really were
I,
the highest art form.
There you go. Video games are the highest art form. There we go. I don't love that game. I think it's pretty cool, but I don't love it. It was, I don't know. There's something about it. It just doesn't have the same pull for me that even when I looked at Borderlands 1, 2, and pre-sequel on the Switch recently, and those blew me away again. But I go back to 3, and I don't know. It's like there's something. Have you guys played 3? Like, it's good, but it feels like it's. Oh, this is cool. It feels like it's trying to be Borderlands. You know what I'm saying? It looks better, but there's something, I don't know, something not there for me. And it looks better in next gen. I'll try to go back to it. But it's not high on my list of like, oh my god, I need to play more, you know? Oh. This has got to be freaking people out. Like, if they're just surfing by here, they're like, what the hell is Lucas streaming right now? What is this? He's streaming a Pong copy.
Heather's birthday was a couple of months later. Her mum and dad had bought her a camera and arranged.
I know I have the
day up
weirdest
by the
stream
sea
on the internet.
so
I know
Heather
that.
could take some photos, although I really don't think she wanted any pictures of me. When the
That's
old
why I love the
man
indie
asked
stuff,
the
man.
professor
We
if he
need to
wanted
dig into
go,
all of it.
He frowned and said, "I can't believe you want to spend time with that thing. It could destroy the world." I wasn't sure what he meant, but the old man just smiled and said, "That's what you said about the Game Boy. Anton, how about you?" "I don't think so," said Mr. Deck. "The last time I got in that car, Barry crashed us into a branch at Woolworths.
Thanks, Taz. I concur with that, man.
Accord. The old man explained that the car was old and the brakes had failed, but Mr. Deck was having none of it. So Mr. Silton drove.
So,
and Alice came
with
along
Horace,
for the fresh air.
I hope you're into your digitized storytelling. Your very pixelated
I enjoyed being
cut
outside.
sequences. This is hilarious.
Although the old lady kept telling me to be careful of the rickety old walkways. It felt like she was telling me off, but I think she was just concerned.
It really is, isn't it, Jordy?
As the old man and I stood on the cliff tops, I could see something in the distance. I wasn't sure what it was, so I asked the old man. He said it was a battleship that had sunk in the 1940s.
Fed
But
215.
he looked so
I've had a
sad when he
home
spoke
theater set
about
up for a
the
long
war.
time, man. That's how I get to engage with all this game content. It's really fun. In my opinion, only Division and Borderlands did the
I
looter
didn't
shooter
see
well,
what
and I
happened,
mean the Division
but
2, not the
metal
first one.
platform Heather was climbing
Thiago
on had
Santos.
collapsed. She was safe.
I mean, I was
Even if
completely
the rocks
obsessed
she
and
was on looked
addicted to
very
the
dangerous.
previous Borderlands game, so I was a
The
bit
tide was
shocked that
rising,
3
and we
didn't
didn't know how
really
long the Coast Guard was
get its
going
claws
to
into
be.
me, but I guess I
So
got to give it some more
offered to
time.
climb down and get her. The old man agreed, but said I should be careful, as Heather doesn't have infinite lives, like I do.
So now he's a hero. This is cool. Phil J. Furr says, the thought of Vic having to say, oh gosh darn it, when he's playing a hard game in front of his kid is super adorable. There were many moments like that, my friend. And I've said on previous streams before, so excuse the repetition, but I've had to ask my daughter to leave the room with particularly difficult games. Because I said, I'm about to start swearing, Ruby. You're gonna have to give me some privacy here. You're not gonna want to. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. And then days without an incident, went back down to 0. That doesn't happen that often, though. I've learned how to temper my... Ooh, I was trying to get up there. I've learned how to temper some of my my rage. But yeah, she's seen me bottle it up, turn bright purple in the face, and then she's also quick to put on headphones as needed as well.
Her leg was broken, so I picked her up as gently as I could. I decided it would be best if I didn't run the rest of the way.
All right, here we go. This is cool. I love hero games. I think you guys know this about me. I love, especially when there are human beings in peril. That's why I do the side-scrolling superheroes and all that stuff. I guess Horus is now a candidate for that. But I just love that idea. There was nothing else I could do there. Because there is so... I mean, you play a hero in a ton of games, but there's so much just straight-up gunplay and blasting your way out of things, which is fun. But, I don't know, there's something really endearing about the nobility of trying to be a rescuer like this, you know? Was one thing that I really enjoyed about that old Superman Returns game, which was not a great game, but one of my favorite elements of it is that what the developers decided to do, Shrek, is make the whole city, put the whole city in danger, and you're constantly rushing around as Superman trying to save a city that you're just trying to like keep alive. There were dangers in every direction, which was how they combated the idea of Superman being so powerful, which was smart. I just wish the game was better. Ah, damn it! I thought it went below the surface there. Whoa. Okay, here we go. Go! Oh, I can't run. I have a kid. Here we go. I love how melancholy the like the whole thing. Doo doo doo. It's super endearing. It's like there's a trumpet right now playing right now. There we go, guys.
An
Look at that.
ambulance had arrived by the time I had made it back to the cliff top. The medics made sure Heather was okay.
Ooh, good
and
question,
then took her
Taz.
off
What
to
games
hospital.
from the PS3 era should get a
A few
PS5
days
remake?
later,
Well, I'm
we
gonna
all
pick
went to see how she
two.
was doing.
Mod Nation
She was
Racers
fine.
and
We had to
Motorstorm
wear the
Apocalypse.
cast for a couple
Now
of
you
months.
go. You guys. This is great. This is a really cool game. Peter Kokosar, that game has yet to be made. That needs to be made. He would be cool to work in a No Man's Sky. Superman in No Man's Sky. Oh my goodness. Vic, you notice the shiny part of a PS5 scratches very easily. Wiped mine down for the first time today with a mirror microfiber cloth and scratches it all up. Oh, that sucks, D-Side Botham. I haven't done anything like that yet. Pathetic Earthling question, Vic, but thanks for the tip on that. I will.
Once Heather got to know
I'll
me,
wipe the
we became
PS5
good friends.
carefully. Vic, which
We
movie did
enjoyed
you
the
pick
same
from your
films
recent
and
Twitter
TV.
poll?
She was also annoyingly good at some of my favorite games.
I don't. I
After
think
a
that there
while,
should
she
be
became very
a
interested
John
in how I
Carpenter
worked.
series of games. I don't know if you guys have seen. I put in a bunch of classic sci-fi type movies. Little Big, Big Trouble in Little China, District 9,
We spent the next couple of months visiting
Minority
other
Report,
countries,
and
as when it
Children
came
of
to
Men,
teaching me
all of which I
things,
think would make
the old
incredible
man always liked to pick
foundations for
interesting
cool game
locations.
content. But I think John Carpenter's such a huge fan. He was
would explain the
tweeting
basics
about
of
Assassin's Creed
mathematics, the
Valhalla
Great
last week.
Pyramid of Egypt.
Why not honor that guy and his creations, Escape from New York
Taught
and
me history in
Big
the dead
Trouble.
of night, surrounded by
Lots of
mysterious
cool John
giant
Carpenter type
stones.
The Thing in like amazing AAA
And even
games.
showed me
Have him
science in
oversee
action
all of
high
them.
up in a hot air balloon.
Come on, game industry. These ideas, they're all free.
This
Do
is
it.
why I was surprised when the old man took me to a restaurant. It was nice, but it seemed very somber compared to the previous grand locations. He said
Thiago
he
Santos.
just wanted to chat, and this was nice and quiet. Plus, it was his favorite place to eat. We talked about life, the universe, Douglas Adams, everything really.
This is great.
When I asked him why were we here, why did we exist, he just smiled and said, life is like a game, just don't expect to be finished anytime soon.
Okay.
When I looked puzzled,
which retro
he said,
system
well,
do you have the
everyone
bigger
should have
catalog
a
of
purpose.
games? I think that's
So I asked him, what's my purpose?
PlayStation 1.
He thought
I mean,
for a bit,
PlayStation 2 is retro.
then
I guess
said,
it considers what
"So
you
want
consider
to be a
retro.
real boy?"
I have huge library
Which
of
just confused me
PS1
even
and
more. Eventually, the
PS2
old man
games,
said,
lots of
"For
Xbox
now,
One, lots of
I want you
GameCube.
to help clean things around
I
the
have a
house."
sizable collection of Genesis and
I
Super
must have
Nintendo.
looked unimpressed, as he then
Pretty
said,
good collection of Atari
"Okay,
Lynx games, believe it or
I want
not.
you to clean 1 million things. It didn't sound like the meaning of life, but I suppose you've got to start somewhere.
I'm sorry I'm talking over all the dialogue. Let's play a little bit of this, and then we'll jump on to one more game today.
The next day,
I did play the
old
thing.
man
I
said
don't
he wanted
remember
to
it, though. I
install
don't, like, it
some
doesn't
more
jump to my
software,
head like, oh,
so
it was
he powered
amazing.
me down. When I came to, he said Mr. Silton had a joke for me, and that I should pull his finger. I don't think I got the joke, so the old man powered me down again. This time
Basically
when I pulled Mr.
C-3PO
Silton's
on
finger,
Earth
I
in
got
Britain.
the joke,
C-3PO in
but
Britain
it
with
wasn't very funny.
a suit.
The old man then explained
There's
that
your
he
review.
had installed
C-3PO in a
this
suit
special
in
chip which
Britain.
allowed me to clean away anything that was broken. He said it
And more
also
mobility.
tells me how many things are nearby, and how many smaller things are in a bigger thing. It all sounded very complicated, but he said all I really had to do was pause, and it would bring up all the information I needed. He then said he wanted me to find and clean all of the items in the room. He told me there would be some chains to climb, but that would be nice and easy, as I just had to press up. He then finished by saying, when I had collected all the items, I should come back here.
James S. asking about Beyond Good and Evil 2. What's the latest? I haven't heard anything. Yubi's gone quiet on it. Michelle Ancel left the studio. It's totally buzzing my controller. That's so crazy. Michelle Ancel left the studio, Ubisoft Montpellier, earlier this year, and I don't know how they carry forward. It's his vision. I mean, he was up on stage at E3 crying about it, but apparently, he left under some pretty auspicious reasons, or not great reasons. So it might be a canceled experience. It was going to be. I hope it happens, and I hope it's being made with the same kind of love that looked like what was going into it. But it was going to be incredibly expensive and ambitious for sure to live up to all of its stuff. I don't know how they announced Beyond Good and Evil 2 without, we're talking about humans and relationships, and giving credit and all of that stuff has been part of the conversation today. I don't know how you tell the world that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is coming and Michelle Ancel isn't a part of it. But the first one, I agree, phenomenal experience. Beautiful creation. I was lucky enough to visit that studio, UB Montpellier, for King Kong. Ubisoft took a bunch of us out there to chat with the folks and get a look at the studio and the creative process. It was an awesome trip. And Michelle Ancel at that time was just wonderful. Just so funny and smart and hyper talented. It was Beyond Good and Evil that got them the contract with Peter Jackson on King Kong, by the way. I got 1,000 pieces of junk collected. Okay, here we go. Oh, boy, I'm not real bright, huh? Okay, let's go up here. Oh, I thought that was in the background. But no. All right, jump over it. Jump on the old bug. Oh, that was junk. That's funny. Okay. The game part of it feels slight. It feels like there's so much production on the storytelling and the music and the narrative kind of focus, but as a video game, what am I doing here? Is that it? I got everything, didn't I? Do I have to get more junk? What do I do? Hello? They're all waving me on. Okay. Come on now. I've done all this. Oh, there's one little bottle. Do I have to get that bottle? Probably do. Okay. Is that it? No. What's up? What's up, everybody? High fives. What's up? I don't know where to go. I don't know what I gotta do. Did I miss something over here? Haven't I got everything? Oh, there's a basketball. Oh, that's funny. The basketball for the hoop is wedged way up there. Okay, guys. Where do I go? Is there something over this way? Ah. So I had to get all the... I guess they probably... That's it. All the junk cleared. Gotcha. Thank you. That was Mondo Blasto. Auspicious was used wrong. Yes. I think I've used it wrong a couple times today, Miss Ojat. Sometimes the right words just don't sneak in there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of words come out. A lot of wrong words, too.
The old man then asked the old lady Heather and I to follow him outside.
Oh, Rayman K, I expect HBO Max comes to Canada soon.
The old man said he was worried that Alice had been hoarding again. She had filled up a small barn with old bicycles and newspapers.
Oh, thank you, Ben. Ben Gordon. Thank you for your comment there. I always approach these creative endeavors with the appreciation that a lot of effort was put in. And even if it's not something that I love, that there will be something of value to discuss about them. I think that binary kind of thinking sucks. Awesome. Not so productive.
One last thing, said the old man. If you want to use a door, just push up. When I was about to enter the old barn,
we are slowly learning how to play this game. Okay, I think that's an interesting little taste on Horus. It's a super interesting game. But let's check out, I think I was going to do this one today. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. I know this came out a little while ago. I picked this up last night, though. I do have the other one on the Switch as well, and I thought it was super cool. This is Inti Creates doing a 2D version of what Koshi Igaraga, is that right? Koji Igaraga, I'm butchering his name, did with the kick-started Bloodstained, which actually turned out to be a great game. But this is throwing it back to the NES days. So let's go. I am using the Pro Controller, just the standard one that came out in 2017. All right, I haven't checked this out at all, so let's give it a shot. Igarashi, thank you, Blair. Pathetic Earthling. Yeah, I mean, I get codes and access to so much stuff that, and I personally cannot review everything. You know, that's one of the things that I really miss about the team is when I had a team, we could get to everything and sometimes have multiple opinions on some of the bigger stuff. And I don't know, man. I feel like that's kind of missing right now. People are streaming and they're playing and they're showing off this stuff, but I think that conversation around the creativity and the endeavor to build us something cool is really valuable. It's really fun, especially in the context of the expense of a lot of this software. Zangetsu's blade flashed in the moonlight once more as the demon's stronghold beckoned. So I don't know if we get our Bloodstained 2 legit. Maybe this is the setup for that. But if we don't, we get the 8-bit game. Vic, when you're reviewing Cyberpunk, do you feel that COVID and all these delays might have affected the quality of the game? Tiago Santos. They're pretty discriminating over there. Like, they are very much aware of the hype on the game, but their own capabilities as a studio. The delays, if I would only be encouraged by, quite frankly, like if they know that if they wait a little longer, it will be better. That's a studio I trust with that. So no, I guess not. I mean, we have been waiting like 7 years for this thing, so I think it's going to be amazing. I mean, I'm expecting it to be amazing. What will be more surprising is that it's not amazing, you know, or fulfilling or tedious or whatever. Like, I suspect it's going to be awesome and genre-defining and important for the business in 2020, and conceivably many years to come, just like The Witcher 3 has been. This is crazy. Oh! I need some health. I think Abby Jameson's all over this game. You probably beat it 5 times, right? You're a huge Castlevania fan, if I recall. Oh, come on now! Oh, I think I used up the, I did. I used up the whip. Okay. It's my first time playing it, so everybody be nice to me, okay? I know I'm not going to be good at it. There we go. Great music, though. I love this developer. They did the, what the hell, the Blaster Master 1 and 2, which were kind of like this, but the kind of the redo for Nintendo Switch. Super cool. A message written in blood. It seems I could use sub-weapons with the X button. However, that would require weapon points. If I destroy lamps, perhaps I can find a magic potion to restore my weapon points. I also found that different colored lamps contain various sub-weapons I can use. I want that. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. Whip. This is gold. I can't believe I've been really, really compelled to play some super classic, old school platforming type stuff in the face of all of this state-of-the-art 4K 60 frames per second next-gen gaming that I've been doing recently. It's like, man, I kind of miss the I miss my Game Boy Advance games, and I think that it just says something about how the best of gaming is the variety that you get from it, you know? And it's been weird to play, truthfully, it's been weird to play 3 huge open world games from Ubisoft. I'm juggling between all 3 of them. I'm playing Watch Dogs Legion and Assassin's Creed and Immortals, and they're all great, but it's totally bizarre to be playing these huge games all at the same time like that. Oh, come on, dude. You're better than this. Maybe not. 8-bit side-scrollers think I'm in heaven. Guitar Zan. Yeah, I mean, they're amazing. This is like The Messenger, a super enhanced 8-bit scroller, though. Without the flicker, in widescreen with way more color. Gorgeous. Oh, fuck. The swears are starting to come out. I destroy lamps. All that happens is my wife gets pissed off. That's from Big Daddy Game Studio. Oh, I needed that. Where were you? One more shout out for the EP Discord server. Vic posted the link in the chat. There it is. Nothing says video game like this music. Absolutely. That was from Miles A. Head. I love that. And Taz is encouraging one and all to join the EPN Discord server, and the chat is up above there. Or the link is up above in the chat. All right, let's see if I can get past this screen here. True that, Skate Soup. It's all about the gameplay. Yeah, I was surprised when I started doing those side-scrolling superhero games. I played a Teenage Mutant Ninja game on Turtles game on the original Game Boy, and it was really fun. Phil J. for swearing Vic is coming out. This is what's it called? Bloodstained 2? Castle Moon or something? I can't remember what the full title is. I know, sacrilege, but it's by Inti Creates, and it was created in partnership with Koji Igarashi. Is that right? Oh my god. Around the Bloodstained property. I don't see any links in the chat. YouTube tends to remove links unless it's by the video creator. Well, I sent it. I put the link. I think I can paste again. Yes, I can. Boom. Discord server. I don't think I played Capsized. What platform? Oh! Oh, come on now. Oh my god, I'm so bad. It takes me a while to get into Zen with some of these old games. Cosmo Afterlife is waiting on my next swear. Might be coming soon. Shovel Knight made me swear a lot. Okay. This is really fun. There we go. Got some health. Okay. Yeah, pixelated stream today, huh? Big, meaty pixels. Oh! Oh, man. Okay. I just wanted to show that a little bit. That's been a good couple of hours of chatting with everybody today. I think I'm back tomorrow with a new Vic yes, I am. I'll be talking about The Mandalorian, the new chapter, and some more stuff. Some, more news in the rundown and some other fun things. So please come back for that. But that is a little taste of, what's it called? Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. Super cool. And Horus. And I probably have some other cool indies that I haven't got. I want to play more Hades. I haven't been able to get back to that in a while. Yeah. But I'll be back soon I'll be back tomorrow with some new content. We'll stream something. We will talk about the day's events, and we will definitely talk about The Mandalorian. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on this adventure today, and for supporting EPN. You guys all rock. We will see you tomorrow. Until then, play forever.